If you've never accessed your Canvas notification preferences, you're going to find that there are a number of default settings that may not be ideal for an instructor. You have to realize that they are originally created with students in mind. So I'm going to access my notification preferences by clicking on my account in the lower left of the global navigation menu and clicking on notifications. So this is the notification preferences window. You're going to notice a few things here that are probably different. If you're looking at your own, mine's going to be different because I have two columns over here on the right hand side. I have one for my email address, my jlong@ou.edu, which you have that as well. I also have one for my cell number so that I can actually receive text messages from Canvas. As an instructor, you might not want that, or maybe you do. Maybe that is useful to you. If you want to set your cell phone number up in Canvas to allow Canvas to contact you, you do that in your account under the Profile section. If I click on Profile, over here on the right hand side, there's other contacts, and you can add a contact method, either an email, an alternate email address, or your cell phone number. You have to choose your carrier and then register it for SMS. So since I went through all that and did that, that's why I have two separate columns over here on the right hand side. You can see that notifications can be sent to either one or the other or both. Where I have it set for announcements, I receive an email as soon as possible whenever I receive an announcement in a class that I am enrolled in as a student. I also receive a text message about that announcement to my phone immediately. You have to understand that these notification preferences, or at least the default settings for these preferences, are geared towards students rather than instructors. So where it's important for a student to receive a weekly summary of all the due dates in their classes, that's not going to be important to you. So for some of these, you're going to want to turn them off, if not many of them. To do that, you can turn off any of these notification preferences by hovering your mouse over the field or over that cell where that preference is, and either hitting X to turn it off, or you can change it by hitting one of these other buttons, which it tells you what they do. This is a weekly summary that will be sent to your email, a daily summary, or an as soon as possible notification. One of these notification options that is going to be of great benefit to you that I highly suggest you turn on is an ASAP to your email is the announcement created by you. If you're ever curious about what any of these do, you can also hover your mouse over them and it will kind of tell you what's involved or included in that notification option. For an announcement created by you, this will let you have this will send you an email, as I have it set up as an ASAP email. This sends me an email as soon as an announcement goes out that I have created. So if I am an instructor in a class and I set my announcement to trigger on a certain day, when that comes along and that triggers successfully, then I will also receive an email that tells me, hey, that did go out. This announcement just went out in your class. So that's kind of nice to have that carbon copy email to me to let me know that, yes, my announcement did go out. Just as important as that, the second part of this notification option is replies to announcements you've created. So one thing that is different in Canvas from other LMSs is that announcements by default work like message boards or discussion boards. So anytime you create an announcement in your class, a student can respond to that announcement and actually ask questions or seek clarifications, and other students can respond to that as well and reply to that student or ask additional questions. So there can be whole conversations happening on your announcements. There is a way to turn that off, but by default, it is turned on, and I encourage you to leave it on because it's kind of nice to include that level of interaction for your students. And it gets used frequently. So anytime a student is talking or responding to your announcement, if you have this set, you're going to receive an email to let you know that, hey, student just responded to your announcement. If you don't, there's not probably a whole lot of chance that you're going to go into your announcements for your course and look to see what's going on them. So it's a good idea to make sure Canvas is letting you know what's happening there. There are a few other items down here that may or may not be helpful to you. Under discussions, you can have Canvas notify you of a daily or weekly summary of all the discussions taking place. If you're spending any time in Canvas at all as an instructor, you're probably going to learn pretty quickly that you don't need email notifications. You're not going to rely on them because Canvas does a pretty good job of letting you know what's happening and what you need to look at. But to get your feet wet, or if you're just starting out in Canvas, it might be a good idea to set that up as a daily summary email, possibly. And then finally, the other one that is important here is the conversation section. The conversation is the same thing as a message or an inbox message in Canvas. Conversations take place in your inbox over here on the left-hand side. Anytime a student sends you a message, you will receive a little badge here that says there's a new message waiting for you. With the badge, will have a number of how many are waiting that you haven't read yet. So anytime that happens, the conversation message trigger happens. So you can have Canvas configured to send you an email. There's also an option here that says conversations created by me. Again, this can serve as a nice carbon copy to your email. If you, for some reason, you need external evidence that you sent a message to a student, or you think that that might ever be useful to you, you might set this up, because then if you set this as ASAP, then you'll have it sent to your email as well, that, yeah, I did actually send this message to this student.